The morning of the 24th of July 2026 dawned over North Dakota and Minnesota with a deceptive kind of beauty. The sun rose like a golden coin over the wheat fields, and the sky was a flawless, cloudless blue. Farmers in their combines, children on their bicycles, and old men on their porches all believed it was going to be another ordinary summer day. But the National Weather Service knew better. By 10 a.m., they had issued a tornado watch for the entire region. The probability was only 2%, but in the world of meteorology, a 2% chance is not a comfort, it is a warning. The culprit was a weak cold front, barely visible on satellite images, pushing eastward from the Rocky Mountains. It was colliding with a massive heat wave that had turned the upper Midwest into a sweltering oven. Temperatures were hovering near 98 degrees, and the air was thick with humidity. The atmosphere was like a tightly coiled spring, loaded with energy. The only thing preventing disaster was a warm layer of air high above, called a cap. It acted as an invisible lid, suppressing the storms. But forecasters knew that if that lid broke, the spring would snap. By 2 p.m., the first storm clouds began to appear. They were not the dark, menacing supercells that make headlines. They were puffy white clouds, innocent and slow-moving. But within an hour, they had transformed. The clouds turned grey, then greenish-black, the dreaded colour that every Midwesterner fears. The wind picked up not steadily, but in violent gusts that rattled windows and tore leaves from trees. The temperature dropped suddenly from 98 to 72 degrees, a chilling sign that the cold front had arrived. In Fargo, North Dakota, emergency sirens were tested. In Moorhead, Minnesota, just across the river, school principals herded children into interior hallways. At a gas station on Interstate 94, a truck driver named Earl looked at the sky and shook his head. "I've been driving these roads for 30 years, he said, filling his thermos with coffee. "I don't care if they say 2%. That sky has a bad look. You can feel it in your bones." The National Weather Service issued a special bulletin at 4 p.m. The cap was showing signs of weakening. The chance of tornadoes was still 2%, but the threat of straight-line winds was now 70 miles per hour. Hail the size of golf balls was reported near Grand Forks. Lightning strikes were so frequent that the sky flickered like a broken fluorescent light. One bolt struck a silo on a farm outside Crookston, sending debris flying like confetti. By 6 p.m., the storms had reached their peak intensity. A supercell developed just west of Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Radar showed a rotating column of air, not yet a tornado, but spinning dangerously close to the ground. The 2% chance suddenly felt terrifyingly real. Residents took shelter in basements and bathrooms. Pets were pulled inside. Porch furniture was tossed into garages. And for 20 long minutes, the storm held its breath. Then, at 6:22 p.m., the rotation weakened. The cap held, the supercell dissipated into a line of heavy thunderstorms. The tornado never touched down. The 2% chance remained just that, a chance, not a tragedy. By 8 p.m., the storms had moved east, leaving behind a trail of fallen branches, flooded roads, and damaged crops. But no one was hurt. No homes were destroyed. The sirens fell silent, and the rain washed the dust from the streets. As the sun set over the Red River Valley, the clouds parted, revealing a sky of deep purple and gold. People emerged from their basements, blinking in the evening light. They had prepared for the worst and received the best, a gentle ending to a violent afternoon. The meteorologists breathed a sigh of relief. The farmers surveyed their fields and counted their blessings. And the old men on their porches, rocking slowly, remembered once again that in the Great Plains, even a 2% chance commands your full respect. That night, as the stars came out over North Dakota and Minnesota, the air felt cool and clean. The heat wave had broken, the storms had passed. And for one more day, the people of the plains had won the battle against the sky.